Good morning. Thanks for providing me with this video. And so this is no judgment, right? We're just learning from our video observations. I'm going to call out observations, and the whole purpose of which is to understand what our decision points are and to be proactive, not reactive to his behavior so that we can help teach him. We want to think about his nervous system right now is oversaturated. When there's an overload to the nervous system, there's reactivity, and the individual is not able to process information. We also want to think about safety. Does he feel safe, right? If he felt safe, he would not be reacting to the noise. You're competing with the noise. You're competing with the noise. So there are going to be some times when you can use a squeaky, you can use a word, right? But he needs to be able to process that information, those sounds, in order to respond to it. And so if he's over threshold, he's not going to be able to process that information. Okay. So here we go. All right, so he walks towards the edge. He's on leash. You say, "Hey, Pebbles," and he continues to listen. We're watching his ears, right? So think of his ears as telescopes, focusing on something that is of interest. We do not know what he's thinking, but from the behavior, from his body signals, it displays to us that he's emotionally percolating, I like to call it, just like a coffee percolator, right? He's percolating up. So you try to call him, he doesn't turn to you. The sequence that I would choose to do next in this circumstance is to walk up to him and slightly touch him. He's not going to redirect. We know that. He's low level stress here, but we could talk to him as we touch him. So touch is very powerful. We want to stay connected and let him, by touching, know that he is safe, right? So the sequence would be, we call, he doesn't respond, we'll walk up to him and lure him, touch him or lure him. He turned, right? So at that juncture, when he turned, you marked and then reward him. Remember, we want to reward him where we're standing, because either a check-in, we capture a check-in, or right here, you prompted his attention by calling him using a word. He turned, you would mark the behavior and then feed him where you stand. If he doesn't move towards you, drop the food on the ground, right? Rather than going to him, because we want him to come to us. And we really would like to move him toward us, staying near us, sitting near us, so we can touch him rather than him moving away. He comes to you, he checks in, and you ask for a sit here, right? And he does, he complies. So here you're chaining 3 behaviors. You call him over, you ask for a sit, and then a wait. And that was brilliant because he was able to respond, but it was very difficult for him. His ears are back, he's panting. This is very hard for him. In cases where it's difficult, like this, I would consider difficult. Acoustically, it's difficult for him. He needs to acclimate. His nervous system needs to acclimate to the sounds, and even just the environment, because it's so new, and the movements of the car as well. Remember, he spent many years inside your home, in the backyard, not exposed to all of this information and stimulation, so it's hard for him. All right, so here, wonderful, wonderful job chaining 3 behaviors. Excellent. However, when we see this state and we're competing with such distractions, we want to up the ante of the rate of reinforcement, meaning that we want to break down each behavior. He looks, you mark, you reward. You ask for a sit, you mark, reward. You ask for a wait, you mark, reward, okay, rather than chaining, because it's hard for him to hold the whole thing. But he does brilliantly. He does, which is great. You ask for a wait, you did something back there, and you come back, you mark your reward. Give him a lot of, here I would have given him, because it was difficult for him, I would have given him a bunch of food. And now he's going to go back. See his eyes, watch his eyes. Look at his eyes right there. Again, here I would have intercepted. Hey, Pebbles, look, look, look. And if he doesn't turn, we would go up to him and touch him. Come here, Bubba. Come here. Come closer to me. Right? Rather than have, and say you're calling him, but he's not able to turn. So go up to him and touch, touch, touch. Touch is powerful. And what you're doing here is you're attempting to counter condition, and we're not doing it correctly. So when we counter condition, our dog needs to be under threshold so they can process information, okay? He turns, you reach for food, you give him the food. So I would have, when he turned, hey, come here, Papa, touched him, let's move this way. And again, he's still over threshold. His eyes are stressed, he's triggered, he's emotionally, he's at the high end of a percolation, great. And you bring out the little squeaky, yay, 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 but still this is far too much for him. And we could have ended it, come on, let's go inside, right? Right? And he checks in, yes, good boy. We would say, yes, good boy, and then move away. And again, give him distance, because distance is our friend when we're not on medication. All right, and again, he runs over there. Am I safe? Am I safe? What's going on over there? This noise, right? And we would just go close to him, touch him, lure him back in. Let's go, buddy, yay! Okay? You attempt to touch him a little bit. I would be stroking him, right? A full length stroking. Let's go, buddy. Good job. So great job. Thank you for sharing this with me. I hope the information I provided you was helpful. Please listen to it again, because there was a lot of information I shared with you, and we'll be working on some counter conditioning under threshold when I see you next, as well as walking. Bye-bye.